everyone! Oh, my camera is having one of those funny moments, isn't it? Give me just one moment. Hopefully I should be able to get it to work. Why is that not working? It was working fine earlier on. Well, welcome in everybody anyway. It's so nice to see you all. Thank you so much for popping in. I am very, very glad to see you all come back. Hello, Suzette. I'm glad that you're going to be listening and you're working. Well, I'm not so glad that you're working, but I'm glad that you're listening whilst you are. I really do need to try and get this camera to work. What is going on with it? Right, let's see if we can reload that. Where has that gone? There we go. Hopefully. Aha! It works. Aha! Just took a few minutes, but we're there. We're there. Right, so as you guys all know, I went absolutely crazy about this when this first came out on HSN. I went absolutely crazy. And I was absolutely devastated because I thought it wasn't actually going to be coming to the UK. And I'm so glad that it has. As you can probably tell, this is just an empty box at this point. I've already emptied it. I couldn't wait. I'm so sorry, guys. I just really could not wait. So this is just my empty layout collection box. So that's just there. And that's that. I'm just going to grab down these papers that we've got with it. So here we go. So this is the paper and cardstock that we got with it. We also got these lovely gems. We got some lovely ribbons, and we got this nice set of embossing folders. Hello, Christine Mahoney. Thank you so much for popping in. I'm so glad to see you, sweetie. So this is everything that just came in the box as what I would like to call extras. Just going to pop that to the side for the moment. And we're going to get down the main event here. The main event. The main event. This is the main event. I absolutely am in love with this. I love it so much. It's a little bit empty at the moment. I mean, they did say that apparently the rest of it isn't coming, but they said that this wasn't coming, so I don't really put a lot of stock in that. I think that it is all going to come, and they're just keeping a lid on it at the moment because everything's a big HSN exclusive. So we have got our 30 cards here with all of the lovely layouts and the instructions on how to use them. So what I thought for this evening is that we're going to do a one card 3 ways. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select one of these layouts. We're going to make it to the way the card's got it designed. Hi Betsy, thank you for stopping in, darling. It's lovely to see you. We're going to make it to the way it's designed. Then we're going to make it with another Crafter's Companion set. And then I'm going to make it with some of my Hunky Dory stuff. So I just thought maybe we could, have a little bit of difference and a bit of excitement. But I am so excited for this, guys. I really, really am. This is like the best thing since sliced bread for me. I'm just like absolutely amazed by it. So as you can see, we've got all these lovely layouts to be going through. So like I say, all in all, there is 30 of those. At the back, I have already taken the liberty of putting my stamps in. So we've got this lovely stamp set here. We've got these lovely sentiment stamps. And then, of course, we've got all of the lovely nesting dies that came with it. Now, when I first started out doing crafting, I was like, oh, no, I don't need no stupid nesting dies. I need all of those fancy smancy dies that are going to make everything look absolutely pretty and wonderful. And little did I know that actually I was going to need those nesting dies. So I am so glad that this comes with all of these. So we've got we've got the squares here, we've got the nice little sentiment panel, the tags, the little arrows, we've got the love heart, the star, we've got the triangle, and I think those are more for sentiments as well. And I love these edge dies. I love them so much, and and some of the things that you can do with making cards with them is absolutely fantastic. I have already made one card. Well, I made a few cards. I'm just going to grab them because I want to show you guys. I made these with two different things. So I made this one with some Graphic 45 stuff and some torn edge nesting dies. I also used the edge nesting die there that you can see there just to do those strips along. This is an absolutely lovely card. I really, really love it. And I also used some gilding wax to make the stamp shiny. I used the embossing folder from, was it Letters from the Heart set to do those stamps? I'm pretty sure that was that. And then I made another one with was this? Oh grief, I can't remember which one this was either. But I love the embossing folder and how I managed to do those squares, and that lovely like teacup that I've coloured in there. I actually learnt how to do all of the shading on that teacup from my lovely Academy of Colour. So it's absolutely brilliant. So I'm quite chuffed with those as well. And then of course on the back here we've got all the circular nesting dies and the oval nesting dies. I'm on a conference call at work, so I'll have this. Oh, thank you so much. No worries, Betsy. I'm just so glad you're here, and thank you so much for sticking around, my darlings. I really appreciate it. So now we're going to get on with it, and I'm going to choose a layout. I don't know which one I'm going to choose yet. I thought I'd do it on the fly because, you know, I'm that kind of guy. I say that like it's let's have a look. So we've got that one. We've got let's see if I can make one of these work with also. I've got to try and think of how I'm going to make it work with my Hunky Dory stuff as well. I'm thinking this one. So I'm just going to take this card out of here. So I'm going to go with on this one it's Birthday Wishes. So let's just see exactly what this entails before we do anything. So it looks like we're going to be doing an 8x8 card blank, which is not a problem. We can do that. Cut 7 1/4 panel of patterned paper and cut it diagonally in half. Repeat this with a square of coloured cardstock, adhere 1/2 to the patterned. Wow, that's very specific. And coloured cardstock onto a 7.375 square of black cardstock. That's really specific. Adhere 2 long pieces of ribbon, which is absolutely fine because doing a bit of ribbon isn't that difficult. And then we can do those and that and that. Well, that's not a problem. Right, let's get a piece of white cardstock to start this off. So I'm going to use a piece of multi-purpose. Hi, Tori. I've missed hearing your voice. I will be in and out because of working. I just got this yesterday. So excited to use this. I'm so excited to be using it as well. And I'm so glad that you're here. No problem with the working thing. I completely understand that. Not everyone can be in the same time zone as me. So I'm just grateful that you're here. And I'm really glad that you've come back. I'm just really glad that everyone's come back, to be honest. It's so great to see everybody. So, right. So if this is going to be an 8x8 card blank, can I make an 8x8 card blank with this? I don't think I can. Well, I mean, that'll go to 8. But I'm not sure I can make an 8x8 card blank because that needs to be 16. And that's only 13. Well, it's not even 13, is it? That's really strange. I looked at some of my cards and the measurements are weird. They are quite weird. I'm a bit perplexed by this. How am I meant to make an 8x8 card blank? They didn't really think of that, did they? Surely I'm going to need A3 cardstock to make that. And I'm pretty sure... Oh no, that's not A3 cardstock. That's my carrier sheets for my toner foil. I was pretty sure I had some white card. Well, you know what? I'm just going to use a nice piece of my yellow A3 cardstock because apparently that's something that I need to do. Oh, this is crazy, isn't it? Right, okay, so if I cut that... Oh, grief. This isn't really very... I can't even cut this down to 8. Oh my gosh. You could do a construct... That is very true. I could do a deconstructed 8x8. That will be a much better idea. Thank you very much for that, Helen. I really appreciate that. Right, so I'm just going to trim this down to 9. Absolutely fantastic idea from Helen there. Thank you so much. So that's going to give me my extra inch for when I do my fold over, and then I shall glue it together. So let's just cut this another piece of A4 down to 8x8. What would I do without you guys, eh? There we go. So that's another... That's that. Let's just move that out of the way for now. And then what I'm going to do is get my big old scoreboard out. And on the piece of card that I cut to 9, which should be along there, I'm just going to score at the 1 inch line. There we go. Just put those there for a second whilst I move my scoreboard out of the way. There we go, we've all learnt something new, or at least remembered how to do something, in my case. Thank you again, Helen. So I'm just going to burnish that over. And, ooh, I think I should use some of my Collall glue. Come on, Mr. Collall pot. There we go. I'm just going to use a little bit of my Collall construction glue because I don't want it to come apart. I'm just going to put that up against the fold mark there. And I'm just going to burnish that down. Hi Emma, thank you for coming on in. No need to worry about not being here at the beginning. I'm just grateful that you're here now. Thank you so much for coming on in. And there we go. That is our first 8x8 card blank. Let's just get a little bit of a better burnish on that on the inside. There we go. Right. So there we go. We've got a lovely 8x8 card blank just there. And I'm going to need a piece of my black card. Now, the measurements on this, like I said, are a little bit weird. I'm just going to grab down... I do apologise, guys, about me jumping around a bit, but it's all in the name of a good show. Right, let's trim down this piece of black card to start with. So here we go. So this says this gives me this weird gobbledygook 7.875. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to 7 1/4. I don't know if you can see it on my little line there, and then I'm just going to pull the notch about halfway between 7 1/4 and 8, and I think that should be about right. So that's 7 1/4, and then I've pulled myself across just between halfway between the 7 1/4 and the 8 again. And there we go. That should give us the right sized mat and layer just there. How's that, guys? I think that looks about right. So I'm just going to have a quick look at the colours that they've used on this. And I'm going to pull out a sheet of the yellow linen card. And let's see if we've got this nice daisy paper. I think it's this one. Pretty sure it's that one. So those are the right papers to be making that card. And what we're going to do then is cut those at 7.25. So I'm guessing that's going to be about 7.25. Seems a bit small. It does seem a bit small. 7.375. It's just a little bit too. Well, I've done that to 7.25, so I'm going to do that to 7.25 because I've gone to 7 and. Yeah, I'm just going to take it down by the smallest amount. So I'm going to take it down to 7.25 by 7.25. I think some of those measurements are a little bit too specific and a little bit off, to be dreadfully honest. I'm sorry, Christine, I can't check what you've sent me right now because of being on the live, my darling. If I move away from what I'm doing, it will kick the stream off. So 7.75 by 7.75. And then it tells us to cut diagonally across these. So I'm just going to line it up point to point on my guillotine. Hopefully, he says it should be roughly about that. And then do the same again. And the good thing about this though actually is because it then gives you two separate mats and layers that you could use to make two of the same card, which is quite handy. Yeah, I think that looks a bit better. I think that looks a bit better than what that's saying it should be. It should look something like that. With a bit of luck and a fair breeze, apparently. If you wing it. Right, so we need 2 5-inch long pieces of ribbon. Right, well we'll do that just as soon as we have stuck these 2 pieces to this back panel. So I'm just going to go over the back of each piece with a little bit of collal. I like to use collal more than tacky glue because I know it gives me enough wiggle time, and plus it dries clear, so you don't really get much of an issue with it. So we're just adhering these 2 pieces down for the minute. And there we go. And this is what I meant about the wiggle room, so even though... There we go. Just pull that into a line. And there we go. 7.85 is like 7 7/8. Oh my gosh, those numbers are so confusing. Right, now that we've done that, I'm just going to take the collar out of the back of the black and adhere it to the card blank that we made. And there we go. How marvellous is that? I think that's blooming brilliant. I wonder who did do those silly measurements. Whoever it was, they need to be told off immediately. Right, so we've managed to make it to this point, and I should have stuck the ribbon. No, actually, do you put the ribbon on before the panel or after? Right, okay, well, that's not a problem because luckily I used the Collall glue, so I can just separate that for a second. It's not a problem. This is what I get for going ahead of myself, guys. So all the excitement, you see. Right. Now, what did I do with that ribbon? So we need two 5-inch pieces of ribbon. Now we've got these lovely ribbon packs that they've given us just here. And I believe it's the thinner one that they've used on this one. And quite handily, I have my handy dandy glass mat with measurements on it. Right, let's just put that out of the way. So 2 5-inch lengths of ribbon. So we just need to chop about there. And it doesn't matter if you go a little bit wonky with it, because we're going to overlap it over the back, and we're going to cut a little fishtail into it anyway. So it's not a big deal. Let's just trim that bit off as well, because that's not going to look very nice, is it? And to do your fishtail, all you need to do is just chop a little bit up. Oh, let's use some smaller scissors because I think those were a little bit overkill. So chop a little bit up into the middle, and then just snip to the sides with little triangular cuts, and then take that bit away. Oh, apparently I just need to neaten that little bit up, and there we have it. And we need that to go about there. So if I put a little dot of glue there, just so that that holds onto the back side of the card. And what I'm going to do with the rest of that ribbon is I'm going to put a little piece of double-sided tape on the bottom of it, because that will make it adhere a bit better and it doesn't come through as much as the Collall glue would. So if I just put that there for a moment whilst I do that. And again, it doesn't matter if you cut it a little bit too short, because you can always chop off a little bit more and add that on. It's not like anyone's going to see what's underneath there anyway, so let's straighten that up a bit. I mean, to be honest, how long have I been going for? About 25 minutes, and we've got near enough 3/4 of a card done. I mean, it's pretty good going. This collection is really, really good. Putting you on my phone, see if it's better. Oh, thank you. He's not skipping on my end. Oh, sorry. Is there an issue with the... I hope there's not an issue with the connection. It's saying that I'm fine according to the system. Right. Let's stick that back on there. And just bring that down in a nice straight line. And if we pull it taut enough, it should get rid of those horrible there we go. And that's the first piece of ribbon down. And what I'm just going to do on this piece, just to make it a bit easier for everything concerned, is before I even do any of the cutting, I'm just going to line up that double-sided tape. He says, once I have chopped it, there we go, that should be about right. I'm just going to put the ribbon straight onto that. I do want this to line up correctly, so I will adjust it. That should. There we go. And I'm just going to do the same as what I did again. I'm just going to do a little nick into the middle there. And I'm going to cut out 2 little triangle shapes, and then that will give me the lovely fishtail look that we love. And there we go. That's a little fishtail. And I need to bring that in a little bit up, further up than what I did the first one. Let's just peel that back. How are you feeling? I hope you're feeling... I'm feeling a lot better in myself today. Thank you very much, Helen. I have had a little bit of a rough time recently. There's been a few things that have happened at work and in my personal life as well, so it's just been a little bit of a difficult time. Overlap that by a little bit. That looks so much bigger going down, so why does it say it's 2 5-inch? Yeah, I did 2 5-inch long pieces of ribbon. That's just not looking correct. Maybe... No, that's because that's why. There we go. That's looking a bit better. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you guys asking how I am as well, because you know, it's really helpful in the fact that I know that I've got you guys to support me as well, which is really, really great. So genuinely thank you to you all. I really, really do appreciate it. It means the world to me. It really does. So we're going to get back to the point where we were before. I'm just going to re-glue the back of the card, and we're just going to make sure that that is opening the correct way, and I'm going to reset that back on there, because I believe that is everything we need to be doing with that for now. So there we go, that's that. And I can see on this as well that the ribbon comes down a bit further, so I don't understand how that's saying it's 2 5-inch strips, but I think it's going to end up having the same effect anyway, so it's fine. It's not a problem. Right, stamp cupcake, present and sentiment onto white cardstock, colour the images as desired and cut out different size circle around each image and statement. So that's not a problem. I've got some alcohol marker paper here, which I'm actually quite lucky came in some of my Academy of Colour kits, which I've had lying around for a little while, so I'm just going to use a piece of that for now. So we'll just move the card to the side, pop that way, and we'll bring back in our folder and get out the stamps that we need. So we need the present, the cupcake and birthday wishes. Right, so we've got a present. We've got a cupcake. And I believe we should have a little sentiment that says birthday wishes. Birthday wishes. There we go. And what is also really handy about this is that everything I need is in this one place. And I know I'm not going to have to go hunting around anywhere else to find any other bits that I need to make this card with. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Right, I shall just grab... Actually, no, I think I might use mine. I shall use my... Let's just move that out of the way for a second whilst I set this up. I'm going to use my stamping platform. I don't know if you guys have a Tim Holtz stamping platform. I do. It's absolutely wonderful. I cannot rate it enough. And I also use one of these Brutus Monroe sticky pads on the bottom of it as well to hold my cardstock down when I'm stamping, because it really helps. And I just use my magnets to keep that in place. They're strong enough and it doesn't move about, which is absolutely fabulous. So I'm just going to do the present there, the cupcake about there, and we'll do the birthday wishes. Oh, actually, because we need to make sure that the circle dies are going to go around them, aren't we? So probably about that should do. Right, and what I'm going to do first, before I go in with my black ink, because I will be using black ink on them, I'm going to go in with my watermark ink and I'm going to stamp them out using that first, just so that they get rid of that nasty layer that usually is on stamps when they first come out. And it doesn't hurt either the stamp or the finished article by me doing that with my watermark ink. If anything, it will give the black ink a little bit more extra grab, I feel. So there we go. And now if we go in with the black ink, we should get a lovely impression. It looks so empty. Yeah, it does look quite empty, doesn't it? Well, I know that they said, like I said earlier on at the beginning of the live, they're saying that the rest of this isn't coming. I'm sorry, but I just think that's a big bunch of hooey. I think it is coming. I think they've got to be careful what they say at the moment due to the exclusivity with HSN. But I do genuinely believe that at some point the rest of this will come, probably about a month or so after it's been on HSN, I imagine. But there we go. Oh, wow. Look how brilliant those are. Oh, I love it when stamping comes together. I love them, but I couldn't get to grips with the CC one. I've had a CC one, and I find that a platform like this, for me personally, works much more better than the Crafter's Companion one. But that is just me and how I got on with it. It's a brilliant product, but it just wasn't for me, and this is. So this is what I use. I have got the Sizzix and Creative Craft products. I do have some Sizzix and Creative Craft products as well. There is a lot that I do use that isn't just Crafter's Companion. I'm trying to bring a bit more in from other brands as well. But at the moment, this was something that I wanted to focus on, because I was literally, when I saw it on, like I said at the beginning of the live, when I saw this on HSN, I was like a dog with a bone. I just could not let it go. I mean, Betsy, Christine, any of the girls that I normally hang around with will tell you that I literally was just going absolutely balmy about it, and I was at a point where I was considering spending an insane amount of money by getting one of them to order it for me and ship it to me so that I could have it. So it's kind of like, it got a bit crazy there for a minute. Hi Laurie, thank you for dropping in as well. It's lovely to see you, my darling. Right, so now we stamp those out. I'm just going to give the stamps a quick clean before we put them away. I've got my lovely microfiber cloth that I use just to clean them all off, and just a little spritz of water spray, and they're fine. They'll go straight back into the folder in just a moment. I'll just pop them to the side for now. So that's our little bit of stamping done for this one, which I am really quite enjoying. I know we're probably going to end up doing some more stamping in a bit, so I won't put all that back away properly just yet. Right, now I don't know about you guys, but I really enjoy using the Tri-Blend pens. So I will be colouring these in using my Tri-Blend pens. What colour should we do the present? I'm thinking a nice blue. So I may go a little bit quiet whilst I'm colouring. I am really, really sorry. That is something that happens. And before I carry on with that, I'm going to make sure I put a scrap piece of paper down underneath it because I don't want the ink going off anywhere. Let's just make sure we've got all that nicely covered. So how I usually do it is I go in with my lightest colour and then I'll accent with my darkest colour, bring out into my medium colour and then re-go over it with my lightest colour. So I know it's not exactly the proper way of doing it, but it is what works for me, and I think at the end of the day you do just need to kind of find what works for you and go with it, because you know it's always good to have what works for you. Right, let's go in with the medium just over that line again. And I'm only going over the line a little bit just so that I can bring the two colours together. And then I'm going to go back in with the lightest colour again and just blend that out. And with a bit of luck, we should have a present that looks a little something like that. Hi Corinne, thank you for popping in. Oh, I'm so glad to see it. I'm so glad to see you, even not to see it. It's just because I read Laurie's comment that says love colouring. Oh, dearie me. Right. What I'm going to do on the top bit of the lid is I'm not going to use the darkest colour because I think that would just be going a little bit too overkill. So I'm just going to go in with a medium colour on that. And I'm just going to go in with a little line and then I'm going to blend it out with the lightest colour. Pop that back. And then for that, for the ribbon that goes around the box, I'm just going to go in with the red. And I'm just going to go over with the lightest colour on that first. And then I'm just going to do a nice little line down each side in the... Actually, I'm just going to go down the one side, I think, with a nice little darker line. I think that accentuates it a bit better. And I'm just going to very lightly go over with that. Very, very lightly go over with the slightly lighter colour. And then I'm going to go back in with the lightest and blend it out. Give it a nice little bit of depth. I think that's worked quite well on that ribbon. I don't think it's worked so well on the on the actual colour of the box. So I'm going to go back in with the blue blend, and I think I'm just going to blend that out with the mid-tone colour. I think that's going to give it a much better palette than with just the lightest colour there. I think that certainly is a much better look. So I'll just go over that with a mid-tone. That's not such a bad one there, I think. I think we're doing quite well on the present. So I'll go back to that dark red blend, and I'm just going to do the ribbon now. So I'm just going to cover the whole thing in the lightest colour. I don't know if this works for everybody, but it works for me. And then I'm going to go in with my dark blend in the areas that I want to accentuate. So very light band down there, across there. I'm going to go down here, just there, and I'm going to go across that little banding there as well. Then I'm going to go in with my mid-tone. Just going to accentuate those lines coming out as well. And then I'm going to blend it all out with my lightest colour. And there we go. I think that looks quite nice. And what I'm going to do for that little bit of paper just sticking out there, I'm not going to go in with anything else other than just my lightest orange on the burnt orange blend. What you're making today, little bro? Wow. We're doing one card 3 ways. So we're using this layout card from the collection to make this card as it is. Then we're going to make it again using a different collection from Crafter's Companion, and then we're going to make it for a 3rd time using some of my Hunky Dory stuff. So it's going to be a little bit, I think it's going to be a little bit of a live. It's going to be a little bit. So if we press on, well, I should have this card done pretty quickly and we can move on to doing it with another CC collection. I was thinking of doing it with my Enchanted Dreams collection because it's one of my favourites, and I just got the 12x12 paper pad for it. Found it on Vinted, £5, brilliant. I love it. So yeah, it's going to happen. Right, so let's press on, and we will colour in the cupcake next. So I'll start off with the bottom, and I'm just going to give it a nice green case because I like the idea of it having a green case. And I'm going to start off by laying down the lightest colour from the Tri-Blend pen. I really like that. Mad, I know, aren't I? And what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the same effect as what I did on the present. So I'm going to come in with the darkest first, and I'm just going to give those lines there we go. And I'm going to come in with this next lightest colour. And I'm just going to give a little accentuation. And I'm going to draw it in from there, coming across. There we go. And then if I just blend it all out with the lightest colour, we should have something that looks a little bit like that. I don't think that's too bad. Right. Now, we've got to do a colour for that icing, haven't we? I'm thinking it might be gold yellow. So again, I'm just going to go over the whole thing in the lightest colour tone. And this is the part where you will see my tongue popping out of my mouth going because that's what I do when I colour. Thank you so much, Betsy, for saying my card looks great. It looks adorable birthday card. 2 of your sisters have birthdays in May. I know. I was going to pretend like I wasn't aware of that. But thank you for bringing it to my attention. Right, let's just go over there with some of that. I just want to give that a little highlight in the darkest colour again. There we go. And now I'm going to blend it out with the mid-tone. And there we go. I think that actually looks really nice. And then all we've got to do is the lovely little cherry. It's not even a cherry, it's a strawberry. I was going to say we're going to do the little cherry on top, but it's fine, it's a strawberry. Oh my life. I'd be dangerous if I had a brain, wouldn't I? And there we go, we're just going to go in and blend that out with the nice mid-tone. And just leave that little bit at the bottom there. And I'm going to go back in with my... Oh, have I got my... I'll go in with my dull green blend, I think. And I'm not going to blend out these because they're just too small. But I'm just going to colour in the little... stalky bits on top of the strawberry. There we go. And we've done some colouring. How amazing is that? Mine will be last in the 50s. Oh my gosh. Oh, bless you. Big 6 O's. What about your sister's birthday in January? Well, that is something I'm dealing with at the moment. My sister's birthday in January, who I need to ship a card out to. It is something that will be dealt with on my payday because I made a card. I just didn't have the funds to send it. Right. Oh no. I'm trashing my own folder here. What's going on? Get back on there, you naughty little devils. Right. What are you doing? These dies have a mind of their own, seriously. Right. I think the magnets on that are so strong that it's pulling both pages together. That is just madness. So, if we go with... So I believe, for the smallest one. And then the present was the next size up. That just seems massive for... That really does seem big. And I may have completely misjudged that because that's going to end up cutting off half the... Wow. I mean, that's not a problem. We can... It just seems so big. Thinking I might do... I'm going to have to jostle these a little bit. But then, you know, coming up with your own thing is usually a... Yeah, that's just massive, isn't it?
Oh wait, does that work better on there? No, it doesn't. Right. Well, they did say these are designed to be made into something you want to make yourself anyway, so I'm going with it, guys. I'm going with it. I think that's going to work. I think that's going to work quite well. Right. So we're going to go with those. Now I've got... Don't pressure him, Betsy. Just kidding. Yeah, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do what I want, because that's what I do anyway. I've always been a bit like that. So I'm just going to do... I'm going to do my thing and make it work, because that's what I do. That is seriously what I do. So let's just do that. Oh, it looks like that's the end of that roll of tape. I shall have to get another one out. So we've got that. I'm just going to get my MIDI out for this, because I do have people that are in bed and asleep at home at the moment. So I just need to delve into the underdepths. To get to my MIDI. Or otherwise I would have used my Gemini. Right. Well, I would have used my G2, is what I should say. But seeing they're only... What on earth? Right, in you go. Stop it. Behave. You better work. And there we go. That's all three of those all die cut out. And I will keep those dies out because we're going to need them again for the next card. So, just pop those to the side for now and pop that over there with my rubbish. And I know we're going to need the MIDI again, so I'll just put that down there for now. And pop the folder with that. There we go. So, we do have... Oh, it's been embossed. Right, that's okay, that's not a problem. So it was a slightly darker orange, wasn't it? But that's not a colour they've given us in the pack. That's strange. Not a problem, because I've got plenty of... I've got plenty of card scraps I can use. It's just really strange that they haven't given us the coloured... No. That's it. Good. Right, and I believe it used an embossing folder of a flowery nature. So I believe, judging on the picture, you can see just there that it's been embossed with some flowery bits, which I'm believing is this one. So what I'm going to do... So I'm just going to run that through my MIDI. Oh yeah, I need to shim. There's my shim. There we go. Wow, that's really cool. There's a nice little emboss on there. And then we're just going to Right, let's pop that back down there. And pop it back down there. Who would have thought the MIDI was capable of that? Right, we need those die cuts again, don't we? Because what we're going to do is centre them just off of it. And I'm going to cut 3 halves. But the ones I've done aren't big enough to do that. Okay, well we won't do that then. That's quite simple. That is not a problem. We just won't do that. Although that was lovely to emboss. We can use that another time. Right, so judging by that, those should sit like that. Wow, those are tiny. Those are really, really tiny. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Because we can die cut out. Let's grab the next size up on the circles. I think that's going to be a bit overkill. That's fine. I'll just do another piece and cut a normal circle out to go behind it. Not a problemo. Right, so let's get that new roll of tape out, considering we've used up our other one. Ta-da! And as a crafter, we always just make it work, don't we? So, let's quickly just put that up to the top there for a second. Let's just there we go. It just moved. I'm glad I saw that before I ran it through the machine. There we go. Move that out of the way for a moment. And I'm thinking that that should make it look a little bit more pretty sure I had another piece. I did. It's not quite what they had in mind, but I think it's a happy medium. Just get my die cut ready. Once I have embossed this piece of paper to cut this piece to cut out, and I'll just do it from the middle of the folder again. There we go. And that's another piece of that. There we go. I'll just cut out the final circle to put behind that birthday wishes. And there we go. That is that. And what I'm going to do on the present is, because we used that ribbon, didn't we? I'm just going to cut about 2 inches of the ribbon. I think this is what they've done as well, because on the card they have those little pieces just there coming down. So I'm just going to cut 2 2-inch pieces of ribbon, and I'm going to pop those behind the present and the sentiment. So what I'm going to do for that, I'm just going to get my tape runner. I've got these lovely new ones that not long have come out, and I'll tell you what, this is the best thing I've ever bought. They literally work so well. I've used 2 of them already, and I've not had any issues at all whatsoever on a single one of them. I've not had to reset it or open it up to move it or anything. They have literally just worked straight away. So this new design is blooming amazing in my opinion. So I'm just going to mat and layer those pieces together. There we go. So we've got all those 3 ready to go. And it was on those 2. So we'll pop that one there ready in place. Turn those over, ready for the bits of ribbon. Once I have cut 2 2-inch pieces of double-sided tape. Pop that there for now. And this is what is so great about having this glass cutting mat with the measurements on it as well. It just makes my life so much easier, I tend to find. Oh, I was a little smidgen over. Well, that's not a problem because I'm going to be cutting my fish tail in that anyway. So there we go. That's one fish tail. And again, when putting this on, any little bits that might overlap, it just becomes so much easier to cut, and it doesn't fray again once you've cut it with the double-sided tape on the back. So I'm just going to do my little nick and cut my fish tail out again, and just snip that little bit off. There we go. And I need my pokey tool. I'm not sure where I put it. Oh, it's fine, I've got another one. That's the one thing about being a crafter, you're never too far away from a pokey tool. So let's get under there. Pull this backing off. There we go. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of tape to attach the ribbon to. And it doesn't matter too much about how I place the tape because I'm going to need to. There we go. I'm going to need to put tape on the back of it anyway, so it will stick down onto the card. And there we go, that just extends that one down. we have that. Let's remove the backing of that double-sided tape. There we go, and we'll just silly me. And it's about there that needs to go. There we go. And that's all stuck down. And then what we need is some of the gems from the little gem packet. I'm not sure where I've put my gem packet. Ah, there it is. It's staring me right in the face as usual. I imagine it's staring me in the face. There it is. Oh, dearie me. Right. And then all we've got to do is put 3 little gems at the bottom of the card, and that is our first card done. And that only took an hour. I mean, that's not so bad going, really. Not when you think about it. So I need 3 of those little medium-sized ones to go. There. There. And there. And there we go. That's our first card done. How amazing is that? Right. There we go. We'll pop that one to the side. We'll pop that to the side for now. I'll pop that up there. And we shall make our next card blank. Just very quickly tidy some of these bits up, because I've done a very good job, as usual, of making a mess. I'm very good at making a mess. So let's just get rid of some of it before we press on with the next card, or otherwise we'll be making more mess. Right, there we go. Put that to the side. Put it next to Yoda. Yes, I will put it next to Yoda. Yoda's on the shelf at the moment. I've put him somewhere safe before he gets ruined. It was absolutely lovely that one of my darling sisters, Corinne, has made me a Yoda card, which was absolutely fantastic. It really, really was. Right. So let's just tidy that up a little bit more. I got some really lovely Christmas cards from all my sisters. Actually, it was absolutely fantastic, and it was one of the best years I've had, and I've got all of the cards, and they're not going anywhere. So, oh, there we go. Let's move those all out of the way that I showed you earlier on, and we're ready to press on with the next card. Now, let's make a card blank before I get down. Before I get down my next lot of items. So we're going to start by making a 9 by 8 inch square out of some multi-purpose cardstock. And on top of that we will attach an 8 by 8 square made out of some multi-purpose cardstock once I have pulled it out of the drawer. Here we go. So 8 by 8. 8 by 8. There we go. And those are the parts that we need. Let's just put that down before I break something. Last thing I want to do is cut myself. So we'll take the largest piece and score it at 1 inch to make our fold. Just want to make sure that that gets right in there. Oh, I love you girls too. You're all amazing. You really, really are. You're all my #1 fan, which is absolutely fantastic. And I hope you girls all know that I'm your #1 fan as well. Right, let's get my collar out. And then we should button that up against there. And there we go. And that's our second 8 by 8 card blank. Fabulous. So, I can't believe I'm actually going to do this. Let's get down this. Oh, this is the most prettiest cardstock in the entire world, and I don't want to touch it. Oh, I know everybody in the group loves and cares about me, and it really does mean everything to me, because I know that if I didn't have you guys, I would be in a really, really rough position. A really rough position. So I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Right, let's just break into this pad. Oh, it seems an absolute devastation to do it. Oh, but it's so pretty. Look at how pretty it is. Oh, I love it so much. Right, now it's just going to be choosing which piece we want to use on the front of our card. Oh, it's so pretty. Well, I don't want to use that page, that's a bit too much. Right. I'm going to use that. I'm going to try and centre the unicorn onto it. Quite possibly. If I can make it happen. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But we will. Either way, we'll make it happen. Right. Right, so 8 3/4. 8 3/4. Oh, thank you so much. By 8 3/4. You know, I'm just really grateful to everyone in the group as well, because like I said, when I took that break and I thought I'm gonna lose everybody, is what I genuinely believed. I thought everyone was gonna. That was meant to be 7 3/4, Gareth, not 8 3/4. I thought everyone was going to leave, and I just didn't know what was going to happen. I was quite devastated, really, because I thought I'd let everybody down as well. But like I said earlier on, I'm just grateful you're all still here, and that everyone's still here. I'm really, really grateful for it. More than any of you will ever know. Right, let's get another sheet of black card down, because I need to mat and layer that. So just like I did earlier on, I'm going to take that to 7 3/4 and then just halfway across between 7 3/4 and 8. So 7 3/4 and then just halfway across. You can't get rid of us now, no way, no how. No, I'm really grateful that I can't. It's amazing that I've got you guys. Right, let's stick that to that. That's a good start. Now, I know on the original one there was the half and half, but this is just too pretty to cut in half and to cover with some cardstock. I just don't want to do it. I think that's just too amazing to do. I mean, I could just leave it like that and be like, hey, I did a card. Right, let's get down the Enchanted Dreams collection. For what bits I want to use. There is so much in here. We've got some sentiments, which is fabulous. We'll use one of those. Oh, and I'm thinking we can use that. I think I know what will go absolutely fabulous with that. Will be that. We should be able to make those work. Should I make that work? Yeah, I think we'll make those two work instead. Right, let's put that away. And there we go. Let's get out a piece of our stamping, our alcohol marker card. I feel we may need 2 pieces for this. Oh, Emma, that's so amazing. Thank you so much for saying that. I really, really appreciate it. Oh, you guys know how to really hit me right in the blooming heart, don't you? Oh gosh, you really do. You have me crying in a minute. I get emotional. I can't be getting emotional. Stop it. You're not meant to do this to me when I'm live. You're all such wonderful people. You really, really are. And you all mean the world to me. I end up getting emotional and I won't be able to deal with myself in a minute. This is why I was avoiding doing a live. Right. Now this is going to be a bit more of an intricate one to do, but it's too pretty not to. So let's do what we did with the other ones. I'm just going to go over it with my clear ink first before I go over with my black, because it's a new stamp and I've not used it. Go, and then let's go in with our alcohol proof black. There we go, and just stamp that out. Let's just go over that one more time because it's not as crisp as I'd like it. And it doesn't matter if you have to re-stamp it more than once. As long as you get your crisp image in the end, that's all that matters. And I'm really happy with that. So there we go. I'll just give that stamp a little bit of a wash off. I just like to make sure there's no ink on it. And we'll put it back on its... Put it back away on its sheeting. And then once we've coloured, actually no, I'm going to die cut it first and then colour it, because I know what kind of trouble I get into when I just die cut. I just colour and then die cut when if I misalign it or what have you. So right. Here we go. Just going to line that up. Pop some tape on the bottom and top of it. Yeah. Because we don't want it going anywhere when we're die cutting. Right, just make sure that that lines up with the bottom. I think that's knocked off the top a little bit, but that's not a problem. We can peel back the tape and adjust that. Just put a little bit of extra tape on, just to hold it. There we go. Just pop that to the side and grab the cutting folder. This is one of the greatest things about having all these die cutting machines, is that even when people are asleep you can sit and die cut. I would have used my Gemini 2, but at the moment it is having a little bit of a problem itself. I need to ring customer services and get them to come and pick it up, I think. So there we go. And we've got that lovely die cut there. Oh, that looks stunning actually. I really, really like that. Right, let's get this. Let's get this put away. Wow, I've only been going for an hour and 25 minutes. Wow. I am really shocked. In a good way, it feels longer than that. Right. Let's get to stamping the next one out before we go colouring. So we're going to do this lovely floral hot air balloon. That's what I want to call it. Right, let's put that there for a second. Grab the stamping card and we'll do it about there. So I have a little bit of that left, and just like the stamps before, because it's brand new, we're going with our clear give that a good burnish down. And then go in with our black. That should give us a nice even coverage. There we go. one thing I do dislike a little bit is that sometimes the edges of the stamps don't just ink out properly, which isn't a problem because we can always just re-ink and re-stamp until we get what we want. There we go. And there we go. I think that's pretty much where we want that to be. So if we take that off of there. I know seeing me doing all this cleaning is probably a little bit of a, what's he doing that for? But I'm absolutely retentive when it comes to my stamps and my dies. They all have to be clean, tidy, and where they ought to be. Thank you, Laurie. It's my favourite. I can't lie. It's the best stamping platform in my personal opinion. I wouldn't be without it. It just works. You know, like Debbie says about the scissors from Crafters, it literally does just work. And you know, with the addition of one of these little Brutus Monroe hold pads that, well, stick mats, it just is a game changer for me. Absolutely brilliant. There we go. So now all we need is our die. Let's just line that up. There we go, that should be about... Oh no, I've lost the end of my tape. Well, you know it's live. Also, how do I store my stamps? Right, well, that is something I can show you. That is not a problem. I'm just going to quickly find the end of this roll of tape again. And I shall show you. Now, I have a spreadsheet on my computer that tells me exactly which tray and drawer, well, which tray all of my collections and stamps and dies are in. I keep all of my stamps and dies in these big plasticky trays, and they are all sorted by collection, and so they all are literally stored like that. If you can see. And each one is then individually packed and labelled in a little plastic pouch. So I like to keep everything together and in groups and orders. Oh, that was a bit heavy. I hope that answers your question. If you do want to know a bit more about it, I can always tell you in a bit more detail. Right, let's get that realigned. I'll just stick that down for now. I don't want this coming out of alignment and going everywhere, so I want to make sure it's definitely in place before I go cutty. And again, this is what I love this MIDI. When it comes to the MISTI, I have never tried one myself personally. To be honest, in my opinion, they are a little bit too expensive for what they are. But that's just my opinion. Right. But I know the lady that produced it has put a lot of love and care and attention and everything into it, so I appreciate that she has priced it the way that she has. There we go. I believe it's My Sweet Petunia or something, isn't it? MISTI. Right, there we go. Let's put that away because we're done with that. go. Let's put that away because we're done with that. Come on. Here you go, you silly banana. Right, and that's those bits put away. Now all we need to do is a centre mount, which is a good thing I kept that the way that I did. Right. So what we could do is actually use one of the square leave a little sparkle wherever you go. I think that's a very good sentiment and is actually a little bit of a feeling for me right now. So I'm going to go with that. Let's get the stamping platform back out. They are, but they sue anyone who tries to make one since they have a patent. Yeah, I did hear that. Again, that makes me a little bit not of a fan. But, you know, everybody has their favourite things. And, you know, I have mine. This is mine. So, I'm going to go with this. It's my favourite. There we go. Let's just do that in the clear first. You will notice, guys, I do have a lot of brand new... Oh, Christine, thank you, sweetheart. That really does mean thank you. You girls always know how to cheer me up. Well, everyone in this group always knows how to cheer me up. You know, I had such an overwhelming response when I said that I was like having a moment and I needed to take some time for myself. So I'm really, really grateful for... Have I said that? That I'm really grateful that everyone's still here. I am so grateful, it's unreal. It really makes me feel, you know... it is magic. It makes me feel... You took a private meeting. For God's sake. I did not take a private meeting. Oh my lord. You are so naughty, Christine Mahoney. You know that, right? Naughty, naughty, naughty. Right. There we go. We could pop that back on there. And pop that back in there. Right. And then what we're going to do is a lovely circle. Take that up off of there. Go on, down you go, naughty. You've been told. Yeah, well, you've clearly not been told enough, Miss Mahoney. Although, actually, I think we do tell you quite regularly. Right, let's just line that back up properly. Oh, I'm having such a fun time doing this. It is so much fun. So, we're going to have all of our elements ready to put down. So what we have so far for our second card, there is no car. And what I'm thinking of doing is using that lovely, that goes with it just so well. So let's... Oh, it's always a good thing to do as well is to keep the sticky bit that comes off of your ribbon so you can stick it back down after you're done with it, so you don't end up with it flying everywhere. That's a little tip. Right, so I need 2 5-inch strips of this ribbon. Where are my scissors? There they are. Oh, I can't believe I'm actually making a mess. What is going on? What is going on, sir? I don't normally make a mess crafting. Right, there we go. And that's me ribbon stuck down. I've got my 2 5-inch lengths. And we're just going to do the same as what we did earlier on with it. I'm just going to get some double-sided tape. I'm just going to cut it to 5 inches and stick it on the back. Probably going to go a little bit over so that I can actually trim that end up to be straight, because it's just a smidgy bit wonky. And nobody wants a wonky ribbon. And the best thing I find about this as well is when you do stick the double-sided tape to it, it kind of pulls out all the blemishes in the ribbon as well, which is fabulous, because from where it's been wrapped, it's normally got that little curve in it, but you can see it pretty much just pulls it straight out. It's fabulous. Right, let's just trim that down so there's no fraying. And we'll go in and do our fishtail just by cutting that little notch up at the middle and then trimming it out. We'll do the same with the other piece. There we go. Or to be fair, what's anything wonky? No, they don't. Hi, Cheryl. Thank you so much for watching in Alaska. My God, that's so far away. You know, I've always wanted to go to Alaska, mostly because it's freezing cold, and I absolutely love the cold. And plus, if you are like in this snow-ridden place, you can't really go to work, can you? Which then gives you more time for crafting, I believe. That's just my theory. I could be one of the crazy ones. There we go, and that's my second fishtail done there. Oh, there's a little bit of... Just trim that out. There we go. I believe something like that. Right, where's my pokey tool gone? Don't you guys find that in your crafting, pokey tools are like buses? You can't find one and then suddenly 5 turn up at once. Or is that just me? I mean, you know, feel free to tell me if it is just me. Because I won't be shocked if it is. There we go. And there we go, that's our ribbon stuck down. And now I'm just going to show you kind of what we're aiming for. There we go, and I've even just changed the layout a little bit. I can't find one, but then 5 show up. That's very true. I could never find mine. I've put them in a box now, so I know where they are. Yeah, but they will escape from that box when you're not looking, and they will make their way around the entire room. Trust me, I have been there. I know this. did want to try and stick to the original. Yeah, I like that. Let's just adjust that a little bit so that it's a bit more. There we go. I think that's going to look lovely when it's done. Right, let's get to colouring, shall we? So I'm going to go with the Earth Brown blend because I'm just going to do the I'm going to start off with the basket on the hot air flower loom. I do apologise if I go into my own little colouring world, because sometimes I do forget that I am live and I'm not just colouring. You missed the beginning of what I wrote. Oh, did I? It's like men. Yes, it is like men. Sorry, I should have been paying a bit more attention to that. There we go. Now, fuchsias, I believe, are a violet pink. Were they hydrangeas? I think they're hydrangeas. Well, we're going to go with a hydrangea blend then, aren't we? So I will colour in each. I know I've not exactly chosen the easiest stamps to do, but I love them so much. And I am just going to blanket colour them to start with. Because we need to go over the whole thing with the lightest colour first, right? And then we'll push and pull. Pull them forwards and backwards with shading. But just for now, just for now, he says. That's not so bad. So, just going to go around the darkest. And just pick out some of the petals. There we go, and then let's bring those out with we go, and then just re-blend those out with the lightest. There we go, I think that looks okay. It's a lovely little blend, I think. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go with the ice grey behind the lightest of the ice greys. Just to fill in the space behind the basket. Right, there we go. I think that looks lovely. Now for the slightly more difficult one. Right, so if I start by doing the roses first. Right, there we go. And then let's go in with some of the darker colour. Oh, I wonder, did Christine order more paper today? Hello, Stephanie Theodos. It's lovely to see you, my darling. I don't know if I can't remember if I said hello to you before or not, but I just wanted to make sure that I have said hello to you. It's always lovely to see you on a live. Right, and let's just blend those out with the middle colour. Wow, that really does pop, I feel. Yeah, Stephanie, I got the layout yesterday, but my box draw thing was supposed to come tomorrow. They're having issues in the UK, so it's delayed. Yeah. No, I have no money, or I would. I still have tons of papers, though. I need every bit of money for tomorrow's template library. Yes, tomorrow's template library. I've already set an alarm for 8 o'clock tomorrow morning to wake me up for that. Because I refuse to be late. It's the last instalment. It's the only one I need, and I will have it. I was really lucky at Christmas that a lot of my family actually bought me vouchers for crafters, so I'm very, very lucky that I didn't have to pay for my layout collection, and I'm not going to have to pay for my the last section of the template library, because all of the gift vouchers I was given for Christmas I've saved and will cover it. And I haven't got a piece of scrap paper underneath here and wondering why it's not going as well as it did earlier. Oh, silly me. There we go. Right, let's go in there with that. Get the centre of those. Green blend. Let's just go crazy and colour. Don't worry guys, I will be blending on the leaves. I just need to get them all coloured in first because I feel there's a lot of them. There is a heck of a lot of them. So I'm feeling if we colour all the leaves in first, I can then go over and do the blending. Well, that's actually looking really good, and it's not even like halfway done yet. So let's just go. I've gone quiet again, haven't I? I shouldn't be going quiet. There's a few little ones I've missed out there, so if I just go over those and blend those out, that should be fine. Right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the darkest colour on the gold blend just to make those little berries stand out. That on the rose. And oh, carrot. Actually, that should work. Don't worry, I'm going to appropriately blend this mess out. Who's an amazing artist? Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm not that good. I'm just pretty much following what I was shown on the Academy of Colour, so... It's not anything... Oh god, no, that's too dark. I can't believe I almost went over. I was going to just go down with that massive tan colour and I was going to be like, oh gosh. I know that would have ended in a bad situation. There we go. What colour do we do the horn? Well, I could just go absolutely all out and use my Crafters purple blend. What do we think about that? I mean, to be honest, there's no other colour really, is there, for a unicorn horn other than Crafters purple? I mean, it really stands out, doesn't it? That really, really stands out. That really stands out. Wow, that's a... That was a choice on my part, wasn't it, guys? That was really a choice on my part. Wowzers. Right, okay. I'm feeling that. I'm just not sure I'm feeling the layout. But that should be on that side because of how it... What do I put up down there? But then... Trying to figure out this layout is just a little bit mind-boggling. Because I see some, I get it to a position where I think, oh yeah, I like that, and then I'm like, no, I really don't. think that will do. Right. But I am going to give it some dimension. And I was quite lucky I had some of these very thin strips that came with some packaging that I had. Foam tape. I don't know why they were there, but they were. And I'm grateful for them because they really do help with a little bit of dimensional. Let's chop that into some squares. Half. There we go. I am liking it with a dimension. And at least the foam pads aren't all one size then, so I'm getting different levels of dimension between the hot air balloon and the unicorn, which is quite nice. Right. Come on. Wow, this foam is really not playing ball. You'd think I'd be alright. Yeah, they came on some die cuts that I bought, and it was just, I just thought, you know what, I'm going to save them because they'll probably come in handy. And because they're there in front of me, I remember to use them. Right, I've got one more pad to take the backing off of, and then I can stick this down and it's going to look fabulous. And I know it's going to look fabulous because I've decided it's going to look fabulous. Right, tape. And you know what I'm going to do on this one? I'm going to use some of my Nuvo drops. Just to give it a little bit of something down at the bottom because of how I've decided to and there we go. What? There is my... Oh no. Oh gosh, I thought the stream disappeared. Oh, I was about to have a heart attack. Right, let's... maybe I should have adhered that to the... It's fine, because what I'll do is I'll just put the glue on this side. Normally I would have put the glue on the back of the what I'm sticking down, but because I've put those Nuvo drops, I don't really want to ruin them. And there we go. That's card number 2, guys. How's that? I think that's lovely. I really do like that. And I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit iffy about doing that unicorn, but it looks really good. That colouring's come together so well, I really enjoy that. there we go. Right. So we're going to be on to our third and final card, guys. So I'm going to use the same layout with my Hunky Dory stuff. Now I know, you know what I'm going to use. Some of you are going to be like, if he doesn't use that, I'm going to be shocked, astounded and amazed. I'm probably going to be, you'll all just be like, what's he going to do? What's he going to use? Wow. Now, I had a little titchy-witchy little bit of an overexcitement, let's just say, at not the current issue, but the previous issue of the Hunky Dory Crafting magazine. Some of you will know what I'm going on about. Some of you won't. I mean, someone's already got it straight away, haven't they, Christine Mahoney? Of course you would. Right, I'm going to be using this lovely Starbound Wonder, and it is beautiful. The stuff is just so amazing. I love it. Love it. Love, love, love it. Now, I just need to find the pad that's got all of the amazing papers in. Which, if I'm correct, it's going to be this one because it's the darkest one out of the bunch. Come on, out you come. There we go. So, I ended up buying... Yes, you can buy the Hunky Dory magazine in the States. I'm actually in the latest issue of the Hunky Dory magazine. I shouldn't... Well, I mean, it's a bit of an, you know, but I'll show you guys. I'm actually in the latest. Just there, you can see that my make is just on there, that lovely little one. So what I can do is show you guys the real thing. Now, I did the craft along with Michelle for this, and then I ended up making this after. So this was the actual make that I made that got into the magazine. So I'm really very proud of it, and I'm absolutely... If I was local, I'd send a delivery man with a box of pizza. Thank you. Oh, that's so kind. Thank you. I need your autograph. Yes, I need to do that because you and the girls were all excited about that, weren't you? So I'm quite happy to do that as soon as I can figure it out. Right, let's just pop that to the side for the moment because we're going to have to make another card blank, aren't we? So another 2 sheets of our lovely card. Now, what if I don't... Oh, there it is. I was wondering where that had gone. I seem to have made quite a mess again, haven't I? This is what happens when I'm left to craft unattended, you see. So let's just chop that down to 8. 8 by 9. I don't normally make cards this big, so this is a new one for me. And then 8. Normally the highest I go is 6 by 6. 8 by 8. There we go. And let's just get rid of that. He's unattended. Why are we all here? You're all here to make sure that I am attended. I don't know. I think you lot are my responsible adult. That's why you're all here. You know, Gareth's not allowed to do anything without adult supervision type of thing, so here I am, and you guys are my adult supervision. Oh, this is so much fun. I'm having such a grand time. I really am. I've not had so much fun in quite a while, actually. There we go. Let's just get that all burnished down. Oh, I can't wait to break into this stuff. It's going to be so cool. I'm like a kid at Christmas. Right, what's going on here? I've blocked Meow. Let's unblock Meow. There we go. That should let some glue out now. There we go. And then we'll just butt that up against there. And burnish that down. Oh boy, you're in trouble. You're relying on this adult punch. It's very true. I'm in all sorts of trouble. But it doesn't really matter. Because I love you all. And you're all bloody amazing human beings. Right, there we go. Card blank done. Oh, what am I like? If I say that 3 times, do you think I'll invoke Debbie Robinson into the chat? Right, oh my god, this is just so cool. Right, I need to be keeping an eye on my actual layout. So on this, I probably am going to actually... Oh, this is just so good. I don't want to use it. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, so pretty. I don't want to use it. I really, really don't. Whose idea was this? It was mine. Right, let's get a piece of black card. Right. Oh, I can't believe I'm going to cut into this. You guys are going to see me wince when I cut into it. Right. So again, like I did earlier on with the other cards, for the black matten layer, I'm just going to take it down to 8 3/4 and then pull it halfway across between the 8 3/4 and 9. So, oh, sugar plums, where have I gone wrong there? Oh, I turned it to the wrong side. That's fine. 8 3/4, halfway across. How does that work? Okay. That wasn't the right size piece of card. How naughty. What a problem. Grab down another one. Because it's not 8 3/4, it's 7 3/4, you numpty. 7 3/4, then halfway across. Wasn't the wrong size card. Me with my brain not doing the right measurements. So 7 3/4, then halfway across again. To the 8. Not a problem. Silly me. Let's pop that down there for now. Oh, I don't want to be... Right, so we're going to go with that. And we're going to have that. Oh, you're going to have to love and leave. Who's loving and leaving? Oh, Suzette. Oh, well, I hope you have a lovely evening, darling. And thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. You must measure at least 3 times before cutting. I know. I'm so disappointed with myself for even getting this out. I feel god awful. Right, so I'm going to take this down to 7 3/4. Oh, here we go. Oh. By 7 3/4. Oh. God, golly gosh, right. And then it's lining it up and cutting it in half straight down the middle. Which means I then have enough to make 2 cards. Right. So we're going to have that go down that side like that. And did you see the actual wincing on my face when I cut it? It's terrible, isn't it? Right, that's got the back pack, hasn't it? So Let's see which one's going to go with it the best. Oh, that will actually. I think, won't it? Yeah, I think. No, I'm not feeling that actually. No, I'm not feeling that one. What else have we got hiding in here? No, not feeling that one either. Right, okay. I do apologise, guys. I'm getting a bit finicky because I don't want to be cutting this stuff up. It's so precious. I don't want to cut it. It hurts my heart. So, right, 7 3/4. By 7 3/4. Oh, and then we're gonna do exactly the same as what we did with the other one. We're gonna line it up right down the middle, so the pointies are pointing right along the edge of the and then we'll have something that looks like that. Oh golly gosh, I don't like cutting into the precious paper. Right, and now because I don't want this to... Actually, would that look better that side? No, it looks better the side that I had it. And because this paper would warp if I use... if I were to use Collall glue on it, I'm just going to use my tape runner. I would like to have had the wiggle room of the yeah, it would have been nice to have had the wiggle room of the tape, of the glue, but unfortunately that would have warped. But this card's going to be fine. There we go. Oh, I've got some tape on the desk. It's hurt me arm. Right. So, I don't actually have any... I don't think I have any ribbon that's going to go with this, you know. I say that. I'm just going to delve into my drawer. Oh, I've got some gold ribbon and some silver ribbon. No, the gold ribbon will do. Thank God for yeah, ribbons. So I'm going to use the gold ribbon on this because I think it does go actually quite well. So we're going to do exactly the same as what we did with the other ribbons. 5-inch cut. We're going to do 2 lots of 5 inches. And because we like the fact that the ribbon stays stuck down, pop that away quickly, or otherwise I'll lose it.
let's go over. Do I have black ribbon? I don't. I actually do not have black ribbon. The only time I tend to end up with ribbon is when I buy a set or a kit from Crafters, and it tends to come with it. If it doesn't come with it, then I don't have it, because I'm not really usually a very keen user of ribbon. But it would seem as though actually I'm beginning to change my mind, because I like it and I didn't think I would, but apparently I do. There we go. Let's just trim that up. And we'll make our fishtail at the bottom. Just a little snip in the middle. And then a snip out to the sides. Oh, I need to trim that off a bit better, don't I? And just do the same on the other piece. I feel as though we're actually doing quite well. That would be cool. Use a little glitter on to match the card. Just sharing an idea. Yeah, that would have been a really good idea, actually, wouldn't it? I would have yeah, because the black ribbon, and I could have gone over it with some of my glitter pastes, because they did actually bring out a stencil that came with this. So I could have legitimately done that. I could have stenciled over it with some glitter paste. It would have looked lovely. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. I'll have to remember to buy some black ribbon. Right, pokey tool. Again, now we're having that moment, aren't we, where there's normally like 5, and right now there's none. Oh, I'm going to have to do some tidying, aren't I? It's not a problem. I'll do a quick little bit of tidying. I'm sure it will reveal itself. Oh, look, there it did. Right, let's get rid of that little pumpy bit off the end of my... Don't know how that got there. There we go. Actually, I like that better that way up, because then that's up the right way. Oh, but then that doesn't go well with that, does it? Because it's bringing that in to match it, isn't it? That's not a problem. It's fine, we can have it the other way. Once it's been embellished and everything, you won't really notice. Right. Go a little bit over so that'll tuck behind. Right, there we go. And now for the fun part. We're going to choose which bits are going to go on it. Well, you know what? I'm feeling a Taurus card today. I'm just feeling a little bit of Taurus. And we're going to do... I'm going to do a happy birthday.
going to do a little... Yep, I like that. So, what we're going to do then is we're going to use some of these little gentle foam strips to raise that up. And we'll put that down there. And we'll use some of the thicker foam. And there we go. What have we got that I could put on this one? Oh, I know which ones. And here we go. I think that'd be about enough actually. Oh, sugar plums. What have I knocked down? So, what did I do with that first card? Put it somewhere. I've clearly put the first card somewhere really, really safe. Oh, there it is. Right, so there we go, guys. We have made one layout 3 ways. And that was keeping near enough true to the exact same thing that came in on the sheet. Oh, actually, let's put that a little bit of an easier thing for you guys to see. So there we go, we've got all 3 there. So this was the template that the layout that we originally used from the layout collection. And from that we created a near enough the same card from it. We made one with our lovely Enchanted Dreams collection, and we made one with Hunky Dory items as well. So I'm hoping that I've managed to give you guys a little bit of inspiration and a little bit more of how you can use this to do different things with, and to use different collections and different stuff from other suppliers and everything. I really do hope that you've all had a great time and have enjoyed the live as much as I have this evening, because it's been absolutely fantastic.
I'm hoping to get another one out before the weekend. Well, maybe over the weekend before I go back to work. I'll be back on a lovely week of nights when I go back. So I'll have another week off after that, and then I'll be able to do some more lives for you guys. So with all that said, I just want to say thank you all so very much for coming. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you all. I hope you all enjoy the layout collection as much as I am. And maybe the next live over the weekend will be another foray into the layout collection, doing a different layout, and maybe we can do it 2 ways or 3 ways again. But I really do just want to say thank you all so much for coming along. Thank you so much for having, a blast with me, and I really do hope that you all enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are in the world. And I hope that you'll all join me for the next one. Not that kind of 3-way Christine Mahoney. Right, on that note, thank you so much. I will see you all again soon. I love you all. Bye for now. Bye.